Love Shane Douglas and the old ECW. Triple Threat was one of the three badass factions in ECW. I grew up seeing the later version with Chris Candido and Bam Bam Bigelow. I never saw the original version. Which version of the Triple Threat did you prefer?
The later one, and let me qualify that. The way I came up with the idea was every promotion I'd ever watched had that heel stable that ran Russia, House of Humperdinck, the Fabulous Freebirds, the Four Horsemen, the Valiant Brothers. There was always some heel faction that was just having its way with the dressing room. And I looked around, we didn't have that. And so I thought, well, who better to do it than me, right? And if someone's going to do it, let it be me. And I came up with the idea of three because four, it now takes three to do what four used to do. And kicked around a couple ideas and almost instantly came up with Triple Threat. And the original incarnation, of course, was Benoit and Dean Malenko, big fans of both their work. And it was three different, very different creatures. It wasn't three vanilla. It was all the flavors. Dean was the mechanic. Chris was that explosive, oh my God, incredible in-ring performer. And the franchise was the big mouth. It worked. But there's only, to my knowledge, there's only three pictures of us together as the Triple Threat. The first one was of us coming out of a television station in Florida in the parking lot, and some fan there took a picture. And there's two more. There's only those three. So if anybody else has more out there, I'd love to see them. They left to go to WCW in within a matter of months. It was very, very short. And Paul really didn't get a chance to put much into it. The interim version was me, Candido, again, big fan of Candido's work. And then I thought we need a big guy, right? Can't have me as the I wasn't a big guy.
The Terry Gordy role, basically.
Yes, the big badass, right? And there's Brian Lee. And so always loved Brian. He just come off the fake Undertaker run. And to this day, I've never found out what happened. And I think I've only seen Brian like once or twice since. He just didn't show up to work one time. He's gone and disappeared. And we were going to put on milk cartons, and he disappeared. And within a week or two or three, Bam Bam walked in. Ding, idea, light bulb over my head. And we put him in there. That later version, because it had the time into it, right? Paul was really able to push it, and initially had us carrying all four belts. So there's this heel faction with Franny standing right there, it wasn't tough on the eyes, with all the gold, the TV belt, the world title, the tag belts, and he kept it there for a couple months, and it really got us over. But the three of us worked so seamlessly together. I'm sure Chris and Dean and I would have as well, and Brian and Dean and I would have as well. But Bammer was just a very professional wrestler, if that makes sense, in the sense that he wasn't coming and go, come on, I was at WrestleMania, I can't have Spike Dudley beat me, and by him coming in and doing that, it elevated him and elevated everybody he worked with. And, the three of us really got along incredibly well, and that makes it a lot easier in carrying off the types of things that we had to do. We knew that we could trust each other. Then we got to a point where the physical language between us. I knew when Chris turned a certain way what he was doing. I knew when Bam Bam did this what he was doing. It was just like a language between us that sort of developed, and it became seamless. So those guys paid most time put into it, but also two damn good workers in Chris Candido and Bam Bam.